oh, you're my roommate. Like what? In the staterooms are the size of like our master bedroom. You know, like nobody stays in an inside on the Love Boat ever. Hey everybody, you're welcome. You're tuned into Captain Stubing Talk.
The size of those staterooms too.
Huge.
They were humongous.
Yeah, they were. They're just bedrooms. But everybody had single beds. Like everybody had a twin.
Yes, that's true.
Even married couples.
Which is weird.
The one I watched today was so Isaac, of course, the bartender, which he's probably my favorite character. I'd love to have a mustache like Isaac.
Right.
And that's his move. That's gonna be my new move. Next podcast crew is going to be a Love Boat theme, by the way. I've already decided. Like the logo is going to be that anchor and everything. We're going to do a shot of us. Like I get to be the captain, and then Ricky, you're going to be the cruise director.
Oh well, of course, because
yes. And then Pam, I can't decide if we're going to be like Doc or Gopher. I don't know. Like, we're going to have some roles. I think
those are my only choices, Doc or Gopher.
I think I want to make Scott be Isaac because I could see Scott with like a big fat that mustache, and he's kind of like a.
I hope that he'll grow one for it.
That would be awesome. We gotta give him a lot of time because that's a thick mustache. But anyway, yeah, it's just yeah. So anyway, Isaac's like mom came on the ship, and apparently his mom had been divorced and like brought her new boyfriend on, but they weren't married yet, so he was all worried about them like shacking up together. And he accused her of being a swinger, and like he smacked her. She smacked Isaac right across the face, but it all worked out by the end. You know, like okay, we gotta let mom live her life and all that. Captain Stooping set him straight. It was crazy.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. I just think of Isaac and I think of the show The Orville, which is a completely different show, but
never heard of it.
It's a Seth MacFarlane show. It's like a knockoff of Star Trek. It's actually really funny, but it's gonna go on Hulu eventually, I think. But
Ham's Isaac, WDW Lounge expert.
There you go.
Oh wow.
You gotta perfect it. That's it. You gotta perfect it.
I got it.
Joe.
I'll pop the eyebrows too, Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have like the way that Brian does it though? You're not sure if he's interested or psychotic.
Yeah, should I be like engaging him in conversation or running as fast as I can the opposite way?
It is true. I'm sure it works on other people. I just knew him before he showed me the eyebrow pop, and it just seemed like something bad had happened.
Trust me, something bad had happened.
I have to be Stubing. I mean,
oh my gosh, come here, Daisy. Oh no, take the hat off. No, it doesn't work with another hat on, you weirdo.
I'm El Capitan, and somebody would need to be Charo.
Oh, I want to be Char. Are you kidding me? I'll even wear a fruit hat.
That's Capitan.
Gucci.
Oh my god. No, this is all terrible.
Oh
this is all terrible.
I keep all my my quarterly tax papers inside my captain's hat.
What's this? What's this?
This is a dog with an underbite. There was a monkey on one of the episodes I saw today with the girl that had her nose job.
Oh, she definitely
I think there was an episode where someone snuck birds on.
There was an episode with Fanny Flagg and Gene Rayburn that she snuck her dog on.
I'll take that.
Times the dog's name was Cricket. It's bad that I've seen him so many times. I know the dog's name.
Nice. Now she's biting my hands because she's mad because she wants me to let her go.
I should start a rewatch podcast.
Tell Daisy to pop her eyebrows.
Daisy, pop your eyebrows.
She's like, what?
What?
Shout out to Betsy and World Showcase.
Here, Daisy, pop your eyebrows. Come on, do it.
Shout out from
do it. Pop your eyebrows, Daisy. Pop your eyebrows. Come on.
An episode with a seal. I think I saw that.
Yes, because I saw that one just the other day too. You got to watch these episodes on Pluto TV. I'm telling you, they only show like 2 seasons nonstop. The seal was doing an act with a guy, and the guy had no confidence because he thought everybody liked the seal better. Well, apparently, like the seal, they thought the seal jumped overboard and died, and so he was like he didn't want to have a will to live and was not going to perform anymore. So Julie put him on anyway without the seal to perform in the Acapulco Lounge. And everybody still liked him, but then the seal was actually just like hanging out in the lifeboat or something. I can't remember exactly where the seal was, but it
was in the lifeboat.
What a really morbid idea, though. He didn't want to go on because he thought
the seal was what everybody liked. So I mean, if it was me and a seal, I mean, everybody probably likes seal better. A seal's kind of way more exciting.
I mean, Heidi Klum didn't, but no. Never mind.
Oh, wow. That was wow, you're dragging on Seal.
LA. Seal didn't like Acapulco. They always go to Acapulco. Or
I loved that pirate themed lounge.
Oh my God, I'd love to do my basement like that. I would love it. Like
I'm sure PM would be all on board for this.
It has the Beauty and the Beast windows like 4 decades ahead of time, right? Those windows, like the seats they show, looks like it's like cloudy and foggy outside the windows. Oh man, Pirates Lounge. Yeah, and I'd totally dress up with like that uniform Isaac had on, and in the back of the bar, he's got like stained glass. It's like green and blue. Oh man.
Isaac was everywhere on that ship.
He was, and that's the funny thing is like everybody's job. Like Gopher was a waiter in one this afternoon. Like everybody's like getting everybody on board. It's so funny. Yeah, when you watch these cruise
clipboard.
Yes, yeah, checking in everybody. Like, what's your name? Oh yeah, and people like oh, okay. I promise we're gonna start, and we need questions. I'll put them in the chat. There's one where the Dynamite guy from Good Times.
Oh yes,
dude, he just ran on the ship, didn't even have like a ticket. He was chasing his gal. He was like an exterminator, and like jumped on the ship, but then they kicked him off. So he drove down to like Tijuana or somewhere. I don't know. Got on the ship a second time, and they ended up getting married. I think by the end of the cruise, it was just crazy.
Puerto Vallarta. I always wanted to go to the Mexican Riviera because I had heard of these destinations all my life as I watched The Love Boat after it was actually in prime time. They were all reruns at that point. Yep. But and now it's not really the best place to go on a cruise.
Unfortunately,
in Puerto Vallarta.
No.
They just sold the ship too. Oh, I mean, it wasn't even the original ship. It was just it was called the Pacific Princess.
No.
Okay.
There's that.
Yeah, JJ from Good Times.
Good Times.
Woman. And they always corrects me out the stuff they say. Woman.
Oh my gosh. Yes. You cannot say half the things they say anymore.
Oh, no. You cannot. Okay. We have a question from Amanda. So she's going to be right here. And we have feedback from bathrooms. What was that?
Me.
Was that you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go. 15. No, not 15. How about 1844?
We have stopped doing 15 a long time ago.
Yes, we have. Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1844 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. We've, at this point, survived a fake Groundhog Day, I think. From what I've heard is that Puxatawny Phil, he is unavailable due to COVID. He's in the COVID protocol. So I did hear that up your way, Pam, in Pennsylvania, they're using a cardboard cutout this year. And we don't know exactly if you saw a shadow or not, but I mean, up in the Northeast, you guys might dig out of that snow from earlier this week by April. So good luck with that. All of our friends up there in New York and the greater Northeast area. The old man Blizzard came to see you. So yeah, nothing better than spending some time with us. We're going to answer some listener questions and talk about a nice warm place like Walt Disney World. So joining me today, she is back from that place, Walt Disney World, where she had a good time and sampled a lot of new things. We have Ricky from the mouseforless.com. What's up, Ricky?
I did. I'm glad to be back. You know, it's always sad when I can't be here, but I think Scotty G filled in pretty well. Although I was very sad that you ended up doing the bathroom show without me.
I know. You know why? When you said you couldn't make it, I was like, well, here's the deal. Scott has his own like bathroom rating scale. So it's kind of his thing. Like he's got this, and no doubt the last year we've gone to all these trips we've done together. Every time we walk out of a restroom, he's like, that's like 7 SGs. And so we had to do it, you know?
Got it. So, I mean, while I was a little sad that it wasn't on the bathroom show, it was a good time in Walt Disney World. So yeah, it was.
Real quick, I'll put you on the spot. Best bathroom at Walt Disney World. What is it?
Oh, anywhere? Gosh. I mean, I do kind of agree with Pam. The American Adventure bathrooms are really nice. The bathrooms that I use the most, though, are very different than the bathrooms that I think are the nicest. I probably use the bathrooms by either the Cheshire Cafe the most in Fantasyland, or the ones by Pirates in the back over there.
That was one of my picks.
Yeah, that's the ones I usually use the most. So
all right, good stuff. All right. Well, hey, let's get Pam in here. She's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester, up Puxatawny Phil's way. Is he like on your license plates in Pennsylvania, or is he is he just how do they treat that groundhog up there?
So he's actually Punxsutawney is actually on the other side of the state.
Okay.
So, and you know how far away that is
It's
from
like
me.
30 minutes, like Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. It's like a good half-hour drive, something like that.
Like 6 hours. So it literally takes that long to get there. So we don't know as much about the other side of the state as I do. Like, we're closer to Ohio, so I could probably tell you maybe more about Ohio. And I do like the Buckeyes, those little peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter, whatever.
Yes,
those are good.
So good.
Yeah. But I don't know much about Punxsutawney. And is he really not coming out this year?
I did see that on the Weather Channel's Twitter account earlier this week. That, due to COVID protocol, we are going to have a cardboard stand-in for Puxatawny Phil. So he gets a year off.
But they're still going to have it.
Right. But
yeah, but I don't think I don't know. Maybe, from what I've heard, groundhogs don't get COVID, but maybe it's because all those guys in their top hats and tuxes would be, not 6 feet.
Couldn't they just do one guy?
Right? Exactly.
An undisclosed location. Like, I have 800 different solutions for this other than the cardboard cutout.
And bring like the groundhog. Does it take more than one person to like dig the groundhog out of his little burrow and then hold him up? I mean,
I'm worried that something might have happened to Punxsutawney Phil. We're not being told.
This could totally be a cover. Think about it. It's like Mexico, like Phil saying in the live chat. I mean, Donald and Panchito and everybody in they've also gone flat this year. Maybe
craziest thing that I've seen. Like, seriously, we just took all of them out at this point and just put in cardboard cutouts. Didn't it? Like, wait. It used to be a video screen was back there. Apparently, we can't just put the video screen back up. We just have to put cardboard cutouts.
That's weird. Yeah, there was a video because there was stuff going on behind them.
Yeah, like if they're going to be gone for a while, just take the video screen and put it. Like, I'm assuming they just put up, like, isn't it curtains that are covering I would assume it's just curtains covering the video screen. Like, just move the curtains out of the way. I don't know.
I have a theory though. I think they're going to make this ride more interactive because that's the way the world is moving in 2021, and they're going to give everybody one of those dart guns that have like the suction cup tips, and as you go by is knock them over like a carnival game. It's kind of like a real life Toy Story Mania.
Oh my gosh.
You think? Knock them over? Who knows?
Maybe they'll allow guest spots. Like, you could have maybe Mickey will show up one week, maybe whoever, whatever, fill in with other characters.
Yeah, it's like a 3+1 kind of thing. It's 3 Caballeros and a friend. And you know what, too? I mean, think about it. Like, in sports this year, like, flat people have become all the rage, right? Like, I mean, Riley was a flat dog at Mizzou this past football season. There was a Bud Light commercial earlier in the year during football. This flat guy who just kind of wanders around, gets hit by a bus, but he makes it home to watch with his real person. He's the flat person. They're sharing a beer, watching football. So I bet you this Sunday on the Super Bowl, there will be flat people. And so maybe they're just 100%. Like ahead of the curve, right? They're probably ahead of the curve. But see, you got to be smart. You got to think these things through.
Disney.
That's right. They're way ahead of the curve.
Thinking.
All right, let's jump into the listener questions. First, we have feedback on the bathrooms from my good friend Frank. His name's Hank. He's down in Mississippi. He gave a little feedback. He said, we had a cabin at Fort Wilderness a couple years ago. 3 guys, 2 girls. Girls got the cabin bathroom. Guys went to the comfort station 20 yards away. Cool rock work and tile, private shower and restroom, and mostly completely empty. Didn't have to share a restroom with 5 people. That got me to thinking. Another hack, if you go on a Disney cruise, when those ships start sailing and you're in my position, okay, even with a split bath. Now, you always want a split bath. If you're going to get an inside,
yes.
I mean, it's like a few bucks more. Get the deluxe inside because you have the split bath. But that's just another thing for another day. When it's time for dinner, I've learned this with 2 daughters and a wife. I go take my shower up in the Senses Spa because I have a spa pass. I go up there, dude. You get all the fancy shampoos and stuff, dude. You smell better than you would if you'd have gotten ready in the stateroom. And the girls can have at it, because they have their they're not supposed to, but they have like flat irons and their, hair dryers going, and it's crazy. So I just get out of there, take my clothes up there, do my changing up there. So that's good. It's a good tip. So he also says, similar situation at All Star Sports, get a preferred room. Head to the pool, restrooms, showers early, private showers and stalls. I don't know about that one as much, but I might do that. I like that. And he also says Skyliner restrooms. We talked about this. Skyliner restrooms at Caribbean Beach, the Skyliner hub. They're small but clean, and you don't lose your place in line if you take turns. When you're waiting 30 minutes to get to Hollywood Studios at the station in the morning and another 20 to 30 outside of Hollywood Studios, you don't want to waste time. Once you get inside the park that first hour, you just want to ride.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good to know about the not losing, whatever.
Hank he's giving, and you know what? It's crazy because we've gotten so much feedback from that show, but mostly hashtag crapshoot that you have, Pam. So
I know.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yikes.
All right, let's get to the questions here in the live chat. Amanda Ely is here. She says, we have an ADR at 7:30 at Hollywood Studios on Saturday, but the park hours are now showing that the park closes at 7. Do we need to change the reservations, or will we still be able to keep the time we have? I know the answer to this one. You're fine. You get to stay. You get to go to dinner after the park closing because people are doing this at Oga's Cantina. I've talked to a couple folks on Mondays where this same thing has happened. Park closes at 7. They have an ADR for 7. They have a reservation for 7:30. They're still honoring those. And this might be your best day of your trip because while, they're not going to want you to linger, as you're walking out, you're going to get some amazing shots because you're going to be one of the only ones in the park and everything will be lit up. So Pam, do you have anything different? But I think they're going to contact you if you cannot.
100%. Yeah, they will. Disney's really good about when they do this. That's why typically when dining times are released, you may not see sometimes that you think to yourself, okay, really? Like people, when the parks are open later, like literally there's nothing available at 10 because who wants to eat at 10? Well, it's because Disney is knowing that they may adjust their times or they're thinking that they might. So they tend to do a pretty good job with that. If on the rare occasion that a restaurant may be closed, and it could not just be due to park hours, but more likely due to like a renovation or something like that, they do contact you and make other arrangements. So you'll be good.
Absolutely. That's going to be a good one. All right. The next one here is for Ricky. Christina Keller in the live chat. Any Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party rumors? My family really wants to go on October 31st, and I'm in charge of getting tickets before they sell out. The pressure is real, Christina says. And apparently I've heard that night is not sold out yet. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm going to go with probably not this year, just as a hunch. Usually Disney releases tickets early, although, they just keep releasing them earlier and earlier this year, each year. I think by last year, now granted they canceled it, but last year they were selling them like the 1st of January or something crazy like that. But unless things change with the way they do things with the parks, I'm just not sure that they're going to have, the Halloween party and the Christmas party again this year. If they do announce it, it will probably be much, much closer to the date. And, have that be that. Now, the good news is if they did by chance announce it for Halloween, it never sells out exactly for the Halloween date. Like it never sells out on, the day that they're released. Now, granted, I know that the parks would be a little less busy. They would definitely tamp down the number of people that would be attending the party, but I still don't think it would sell out completely the day that they're released. So I think you'd have some time if they released it, but I really don't think they're going to do Mickey's Not So Scary or Mickey's Very Merry again this year. Just a hunch.
And I have to give an apology on the show here to like 2 or 3 guests somehow, because we have this system where we email our guests like tips and reminders. Like some are just like tips, make sure you have this happening, now. Some just get you pumped for your trip. Some are just like, make sure you pack these things or don't forget this, right about now, we should be thinking about these things. Somehow a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party email slipped out to like 2 guests. They're like, whoa, I didn't even know it was announced. I'm like, me neither.
It's not.
I still do not know how that went out. So yes, I got people all excited. I got excited. I'm like, well, maybe you know something. I'm like, Halloween party. No, but we so yeah, sorry about that. Because I know you're probably listening like, Mike, you're off your rocker.
Yeah.
And I was, it's typical for me. All right, Jennifer down the road here. Do you think we'll see March hours increase for spring break guests, or are reservations just really low? So Pam, do you think we'll see park hours increased here in the next month for spring?
We did. We have seen some park hours increase lately, actually. And it was actually a really good increase. I hate this is so I will tell you, this is one of my pet peeves. I hate when if like park hours are adjusted down ever, it could be like a half an hour on a Thursday when nobody's going to be there. It's the rumor mill start. Like literally, like Disney's closing, it's a cost cutting, blah, blah, blah. We saw park hours extended by hours, plural in some cases. And Disney does deserve props for that they're continuing to watch that. They're not just, opening it and letting it go and just being like, you know what, this is all we're open. We're only open what we're open. And they could really do that, especially with the capacity control now. They could just be, it's not like they open the parks for 2 hours later and they somehow get to increase their capacity. They don't. Their capacity is their capacity. So this is a case where I feel like we need to give Disney some props. They saw that some more people are coming. They're expecting that more people will be there on those days, and they have adjusted the park hours and given us more time in the parks. And who doesn't love that nighttime time the best of all? It's everyone's favorite. So love it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, because that was the problem with this summer, right? I mean, like when the parks reopened was, you were talking late July. When I was down there the first week of August, like, just that time of year, it stays light so long. And I love Kingdom in the dark, like all the parks are dark. It was really, we didn't get that because they're closing at like 7 or 8 and it was, still light out till 8:30. And so that's a plus. That's definitely, I agree with that. Betsy, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less, she's down at Walt Disney World right now checking in. And let me just give you some quick feedback she gave us. She says the crowds are crazy low. We did everything in Animal Kingdom and had lunch in 2 hours. Whoa.
Wow.
All of Toy Story Land in an hour, and are now eating around the world. She's a World Showcase. So she's 3 parks today. Nice. Park hopping is back, baby. And she's getting her money's worth out of that park hopper.
For sure.
That's, and people have been asking, as we've been working with guests and so forth, like, is the park hopper worth it now? And I say, absolutely. Because if you don't have the park hopper, you make that initial theme park reservation, you are married to that park for that day. And that is it. Mm-hmm. You could do like Betsy right now, go to the Animal Kingdom in the morning, get there before the crowds, get everything you want to get done. You take it easy because right now you got to wait till 2. You don't have to be in a big rush, but then at 2:00, hop over to the studios, ride a couple of your favorite rides. You're not going to get to do Rise, but I mean, hey, you're not going to get everything, but then walk over to World Showcase and snack. I mean, Pam, I think right now is a great time to have the park hopper. It just gives you flexibility.
I agree. I totally agree. Now, we've always been big proponents of the park hopper, even before, COVID, but now I feel like there's lots of opportunities there because literally in the later afternoon, as you approach park closing, the guests that are still in the parks is smaller and smaller. Like, I know everyone's like, I'm worried that I'm not going to have enough time to get everything done. But let me tell you, people get everything done and then some, and then they're like, okay, now what do I do? I've been here since they opened this morning. So, there's some time there in the parks and it's a great opportunity. You'll be able to bounce from park to park and get a lot of stuff done. And think about it. I think one of the reasons that people were afraid of getting the park hopper is being shut out of that park hopping capability, but that hasn't been an issue. I mean, we literally saw it the first week, and this was on New Year's Day. There were a couple times that week where for a short period of time, you were not allowed to park hop. But even on those days, the parks did open up for park hopping later in the day. So you're good.
All right, let's get to this next one from the inbox. I love this. Hey, Mike, Ricky, and Pam. I'm writing from Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm a big fan of your show. Who'd have thought we'd ever hear that? Like, seriously,
that's crazy.
Let's listen to our podcast in Africa.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was just excited if somebody would have listened from upstairs in 2008, right? If like my wife would have just put her ear up against the basement door, I'd have been excited for that. But Africa, South Africa, that's so cool. Thanks, Kristen. Just thanks for all your tips, tricks, and sharing the joy. My partner and I have booked a trip for September of 2021, staying offsite and visiting Walt Disney World, Universal, and have a couple other things in mind for Orlando for our over 2-week period. We have a couple of questions that we hope you can clarify for us. Should we purchase the park tickets and make park reservations now? I was wondering if there would be an evening party that we might swap out one of the days for. For example, if we buy a 6-day ticket now, but later on see a party event that we prefer, how easy it to change our 6-day to a 5-day ticket and add on the party ticket. So again, sometimes when folks stay for like weeks at a time, they're coming from overseas. And again, this is all dependent on international travel and all that opening up, right? We have another question about that coming up here in a second. That's kind of the elephant in the room at this point. But say international travel's back in September, Pam, they're staying offsite. Maybe they got like a condo or something. Some people do that from offsite. What's the best way to handle the tickets if you're kind of hoping you're going to go against Ricky like Tammy in the live chat? Maybe we'll get a Halloween party or something during September.
It's rough because at this point, tickets are non-refundable. So just go into it knowing that. If you are making a ticket-only purchase, it is non-refundable. Now, we've talked the past couple weeks about the importance then of booking a package that includes both your resort and your tickets, because then you're able to make your park reservation right at that time, and your whole package is fully refundable up until 30 days prior to your travel dates. So that's what makes a Walt Disney Travel Company package so much more appealing right now. If you're buying standalone tickets, assume that they are non-refundable. And that is the case that Disney is taking at this point. You do not lose the value of those tickets, but they will cease to become tickets at some point, right? And what they are is basically just a gift card worth the amount that you paid for it. No more, no less. So keep all of that in mind.
I think that's a good way to look at it. It's like a gift card. Like, I think that's the best way to really think about it, because so many people think it's still like tickets, but it really isn't. It's the value of the tickets. So I think the gift card idea is like really the best analogy.
It's like a gift card you can use toward another ticket.
Yes,
exactly. That's it.
Yes.
So just keep all that in mind. So that's, if you're comfortable with that, then I'd say go ahead, purchase your tickets, make your park reservations, and go from that point forward. If you're not, then I feel like you have to get to a point where you're comfortable. The issue is, if you really think about this from Disney's perspective, we are in this state right now. There are travel restrictions right now. So you're buying the ticket at a time when you're very well aware of the fact that there are travel restrictions. So you're making that purchase knowing that you may have to keep that as a ticket gift card for a period of time, because you may not be able to travel. Otherwise, from a business perspective, to have that amount out there as something that could be refundable is just, I mean, the accrual and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know what I mean? Just being a small business owner, we sort of know this, but I can't even explain what a big pain this must be for Disney to deal with this at this point. So just know that going into it.
But I would say too, like, just theme park reservations for September are not going to be as, say, tough to get for the next month or two, I would say, as like if you're going in October. Like October is where it traditionally picks up a lot more. And with the 50th, I would say if you're going anytime in October, you want those theme park reservations yesterday. Where September, you could probably hold off maybe another month or two before you buy those tickets and make your theme park reservations, and still probably get all the parks you want if you're semi-flexible, just because, that's prior to the 50th kicking off on October 1st. But let's get to her. She has two other questions. I want to get this in real quick. She says, I'd love to ride the Skyliner just to experience it. How would you go about doing that? We won't be doing park to park passes, so Hollywood Studios to Epcot isn't an option. So really quickly on that one, you could just jump on it anywhere. If you go to Epcot, you can just jump out of the International Gateway, ride it over to the Riviera, Caribbean Beach. You can even go all the way down to Pop Century and Art of Animation. You could hop over to the studios just to ride it. There's no restrictions on that.
And you don't go into the park like the Skyliner. So it drops you out it drops you off right outside of the park. So
yeah, I've heard there's this crazy train somewhere, and it's not like Ozzy Osbourne, but like you got to have a park to park ticket to go like from one to the other.
Yes,
I'm fall in love to the rails.
I'm familiar. It's got to go to platform 9 3/4 for it. Yeah,
I don't get that. Why is it got to be a fraction? Like I don't know.
How long I watched the movie?
I did for like 15 minutes. I fell asleep. All I saw was the part where he was like locked into a cage under the stairs or something. And I was like, out. I'm out.
That's his room.
That's his room.
Covered under the stairs.
Yes. Yes. That's where letters are delivered to.
Too dark. Okay, last question. My partner loves sports and we want to experience a football/baseball match while we're there. Any teams or venues that we should look out for? Okay, this is up my alley. So now football could be two things, right? They're from South Africa. It could be soccer, as we call it here in the States.
That's true.
He's all about that. He's a professional soccer fan.
Yes.
I'm not a big soccer fan, but I know that Orlando does have a couple of professional soccer teams. The Pride is the female team because my daughter's really into that. I forget what the men's team is called. They're purple.
Yeah.
Help me out, Joe, in the live chat. What's the men's team? But they play in Orlando. So, and I don't know if they play during September, but I would assume they do. So if you want to watch soccer, you can do that. If you watch regular football, there's UCF, which is University of Central Florida, which Tennessee is still their head coach, but that's another thing for another podcast. But that's kind of a fun environment to go to. A professional match, if you're in Orlando, the closest you could probably go is Jacksonville, which would be about a 2-hour drive.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, they have a team, I think. I've heard.
A few people have heard of them. Yeah, I'm not a fan of their quarterback, but people have heard of them. Yeah,
like old quarterbacks. So you could go over to Tampa, right? That's a couple hours. In baseball, Orlando does not have a professional baseball team, but again, you could go over to Tampa. They have the Tampa Bay Rays, which are very good, and that's about it. I mean, you wouldn't want to go all the way to Miami. So. Yeah, definitely go. It's a shame September you still have baseball going on.
The only real sports that Orlando has as far as like major sports teams are the soccer team, which Joe says is the Orlando SC. And then And then there's the Orlando Magic, which is the basketball team. So
she didn't ask about basketball.
I know she didn't ask about that.
Also the bobsled team. No, just kidding. They don't, but they didn't ask about that either.
No,
so
they compete against the Jamaican bobsled.
Yes. God, I love Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings is still one of the best movies ever. Thanks, Coach. Peace be the journey. All right, thank you for writing in from South Africa. We sure appreciate that, Kristen. Hope you're having a great week. All right, real quick. Asher says, who's excited for Blizzard Beach? I'm so intrigued to see how they do everything with that. Haven't been since 1996, but planning to take our kids when we go in April. Here's what I found interesting when I read the press release about Blizzard Beach. Fam, you might be the same. Ricky, you might be the same. Their wording was like a total flip flop of what it's been in the last 9 months or so. It was telling us where masks were not allowed. Right. The press release, yes. Masks are not allowed in the swimming pools or on the slides. Only mask up when you're at the park entrance, and common areas and moving around the park. I thought that was kind of interesting, babe, because I was like, I read it twice. I'm like, well, that's different.
I know, right? Because I guess they figure, what are you going to do with the mask if you if you need to take it off at some point? Where are you putting the mask? Your bathing suit only has so many pockets. Now, guys' bathing suits have more pockets than
this is true. Women do not usually have pockets. Nowhere to store.
We don't have any pockets.
No, we do not.
No. But yes, Blizzard Beach that, and guess what? No park reservations.
True. Yes. Yes. I do think it's interesting though, because the only thing that I think could be a little scary. Quotes is like standing in line.
Summit plummet.
No, not that. Yeah, but standing in line while you're waiting for the slides. Now, I'm thinking that probably there's not going to be that many people that visit the water park, so that's why there's, they'll probably distance pretty.
They'll have the markers.
Yeah, exactly. They'll probably have markers distance pretty good. But that is the only thing, because obviously you wouldn't be carrying your mask with you while you're standing in line if you're going to go ride the water ride. So. And I guess not while I see that's the weird thing too. Like if you're walking to an attraction, like you're
now I gotta think about this. Yeah, I'm not totally gotta think about this because you're right. Like you could keep that mask in your hand, like while you're going on Summit Plummet.
Carry the one,
but you can't because like they say that wearing a mask wet is not.
No. You just keep it in your hand.
But if it's in your hand, it can still get wet. Yeah, exactly. So if you're walking around, it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. Because I would assume, I don't know how you're going to do that.
This is totally a CNC Music Factory moment. Things that make you go,
Yeah. Exactly. Also, when Universal had their water park open, you had to wear it when you're queuing up for the restaurant, but you did not have to wear it when you were sitting down to eat. Right. And you didn't have to wear it when you were walking around.
Okay.
Because it was assumed that you were going from one attraction to the next. Yeah. So
okay, how about a question that we have an answer to?
Let's try that.
I have an answer. Bethany's asking in live chat: are they still offering bounce back offers?
They are not at this time. Nope.
But I will say, here's the deal with bounce backs. So they're discounted future travel bookings while you're at Walt Disney World before you check out. That's how those work. And they'll probably come back at some point. But right now, there's great discounts out there. So, like, say you're Betsy down there at World Showcase tonight, living life, third park of the day, living large.
Yep.
You know what? Hey, we can still book you for the rest.
Yes, send Mike a note. He'll book
your discount. I mean,
we'll even call it a bounce back if you want.
Instead of it being 2 free days or up to 30% off, bounce back, whatever. The tomato. We'll
No, they are. Yeah.
They're not here right now. So, question for Pam. I mean, this says Pam hyphen at the beginning. So I'm out. I'm just
okay.
I'm out too. It's just for Pam.
Let's crack open a Coke Zero here during this one. I'm glad this one's you. I'm glad they didn't put Mike on this one. So Mary Beth in the live chat asks, when do you think international travel restrictions will be lifted or reduced? I'm a Canadian with reservations for Walt Disney World's 50th, and I'm wondering the feasibility of this trip happening. So again, this is just a gut call. Nobody knows. But
yeah, I don't want to predict this for one country, let alone for two. Canada's being very cautious, I think, about their COVID restrictions. They still have not given the okay to cruise ships to port there, which makes some of those Alaska cruises sort of for the summer sort of in jeopardy. We don't know what the cruise lines are going to do. So I don't know when that will happen. What is really weird is you can fly from Canada to the United States or from the United States to Canada, but you cannot drive. Which
weird.
No, right? It just some of it doesn't really make any sense. But anyways, I think it's just to cut down on the visitors from place to place. So check that out. But I think the restriction in terms of having to have a test within certain time frame will probably be there for a while. And that's, other than that, I really don't have any information on that. I wish I did. There is some lobbying that's going on right now in our Congress to lessen the restrictions as far as international guests coming into the U.S. So we'll see where that goes. I think we're going to look here to the spring to see how things go for that. But I know that there are travel groups there that are lobbying Congress for that. So I hope that we see it soon.
And there's no harm in holding on to everything and preparing like it's going to happen, right? I mean, you'll know by like August and everything's still refundable. So I just hang on to everything, hope for the best. And,
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Deal. You've got your theme park reservations probably, and those are golden and all that kind of stuff.
At this point, they are golden.
They are golden.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of chat. This is why I love recording live, because we have all kinds of ideas for what to do with the mask. People are thinking, and they're figuring things out. So Ashley says a waterproof phone lanyard case with a mask. I don't think you can take slides though. I don't think you can take anything.
You can't.
That wouldn't work. We got let's see. Corey or Core. I love like email names from like YouTube. Core Wife Famber says mask lockers. I don't know.
Mask lockers, right? Yeah, they do kind of need that.
Little bitty lockers. They'll probably still be $15.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay, Ashley's got a question, and I was thinking about this question earlier this weekend. Will Port Orleans Riverside reopen this year? And I have a theory. Finally, I have a good theory. Now,
all right, let's hear it. Is it like a conspiracy theory, or
no? It's a theory. I think I might be onto something, and I have not read this anywhere. This totally was in my brain. This is not like stealing somebody else's theory.
All right.
So apparently, Disney's going to do another bubble for like the D League for the NBA. Now, the NBA D League is what it is, like their minor leagues.
Okay.
And we're also looking at maybe doing a bubble for like a soccer, kind of like a second tier soccer like league. Think about it. When they do that, they have to house athletes. Riverside and French Quarter together could be like a little bubble. And it's, it's like D leagues. They don't have to stay at the Grand Floridian or like the Grand Casino Tower, right? You're not there yet. You're a minor league player. So you're getting a moderate resort. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Some NBA players thought they were staying at the Motel 6 when they were at
Forget them. That made me so mad.
Springs in the nice new tower, it reminds them of a Motel 6.
Whatever. That made me so mad because I love the Grand Casino Tower. So whatever. But maybe I think it's just demand at this point. But I mean, that could definitely be a place like because you got 2 adjacent resorts kind of sharing facilities.
Not a bad idea.
And, the rooms are kind of nice. I mean, if you're a minor league player, you get a, hey, if you're like a captain, you get like a royal guest room. If you're just somebody that's hanging on by a thread, you get put way out there. It's just like, sorry, dude, it's going to take you a little bit to get to the food court. I don't know. Whatever.
That's an idea.
This one. That's just my theory. We don't know. We'll see. Diane's asking, are Yak and Yeti and Tiffin's the only sit-down options available at Animal Kingdom right now? Ricky, this is you.
Yes. Besides, the lounge there at the Nomad Lounge. Yes. Those are the only ones that are open.
Okay, Joe's asking about the details for the 30% merch discount in February. That was just announced, I believe, yesterday as we're recording. It started today, February 1st, 30% merch, AP discounts.
Well,
yeah, do you know about that one? You've been paying attention?
Actually, I learned something today because I've been super.
Yeah. No, I did see it on Twitter. That is something. That's a good discount. Like, there's a lot of stuff I got that like a red Disney jacket that I wear sometimes for like $42, on a 30% discount. So I wouldn't have bought that otherwise.
The 30% discounts are really, really awesome when they do offer them now. I'm not sure if they are going to be offered. See, I like when they offer it with Shop Disney too, but I don't know if they're doing that this time. I think a lot of times
think they are. I saw people asking for that, but I don't think they are.
It makes life a lot easier. And one would think because they sell the perk merchandise that, they would allow for an AP discount on Shop Disney, but alas, no. But it's definitely nice to be able to take advantage of that 30% off discount. Usually they're at, all the Disney owned shops that they have. And then if by chance they are offering a like special discount, like on certain items already. So like over the summer, there was the, neon yellow, like the lizard color yellow stuff that was all on 30%.
The stuff that was on Scotty G's body. He bought everything that was like on sale in that color.
100%. So when like something like that is discounted, so when they have like the 30% off on like a section of merchandise, you'll get the 30% off, and then they will take the extra 30% off as well for your annual pass discount, which is awesome. So I'm a big fan of those discounts, and Disney has gotten way more of my money because of those discounts. I'm not gonna lie, like I've spent way more money because of those 30% and then extra 30% discounts. So.
And Amanda says, she's right. She usually excludes things like Legos, Doonies.
Yeah, of course.
Some experiences like Droid Depot, Savvy's Workshop, stuff that they don't need to discount, right? People are going to pay insane amounts for these kind of collector types.
The Arevis glass, castle is probably not discounted, that kind of thing.
What? That $30,000 castle, I was thinking, like, I could save $10,000.
I know, right?
Pam, it's only 19.6 right now. Let's go for it. How good will that look on the kitchen table?
Totally perfect.
Yes. I'm thinking about it now.
And by the way, the person's name for YouTube, I totally apologize. It's actually Corwin of Amber. He says,
I figured that out, but I was just going to let you keep
when they're all meshed together and there's like no like capital letters anyway. That's why I capitalized my B, O, G, and M and be our guest Mike. So you can kind of get a little delineation there. But he says it's 9 Princes of Amber reference. And he says, yes, I'm an old school sci-fi nerd. I have no idea. I think 9 Princes of Amber hang out with Harry Potter.
No. But what I like it when you mispronounce things and try to do some kind of accent. Yes. And like sometimes just general reading, Mike. These are all
reading is challenging sometimes. I get it.
These are all things that amuse us.
I just know 2 princes, the Spin Doctors, because I was a DJ. So that's right. Let's get to one last question. I apologize. Thank you for clarifying that, Corbin of Amber. I appreciate you tuning in.
I just want you to know, Corwin of Amber. I knew that's what it was, but I really just wanted to watch Mike's founder. So, yeah.
Whatever. Okay, Cindy's got the last question today. Hello, BOGP crew and hashtag Scotty G. Not here today, but he's tuned in, I'm sure. My family of 4 just booked a trip to Walt Disney World for March 2nd to the 7th. We normally go to Walt Disney World once every 2 to 3 years, so this is very last minute for us. I'm looking for fun and casual dining options while we're there. Without the dining plan, we aren't going to do character or signature dining. Instead, I thought it would be fun to visit nearby resorts for their casual dining options. We're staying at the Caribbean Beach Resort and plan on taking the Skyliner to Pop Century one night. Are there other resorts close to the Caribbean that we can visit for dinner? Also, I'm looking for suggestions for quick service casual restaurants to visit on our Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom days, either in the parks or nearby resorts, although not Wilderness Lodge, because we already have our favorite place at Wilderness Lodge. Ooh, they didn't say what it is. Is it Geyser Point? Like, what is it? Like, is it Roaring Fork? What do you like there?
Whispering Canyon.
Canyon. I know, like, dude, you can't leave us hanging. Cindy, don't do that. That's not nice. Anyway, she says, thank you for all you do. I discovered your podcast 2 years ago and haven't missed an episode. Cindy is 750 miles away from Caribbean Beach. Thank you, Cindy. That's awesome. And I'm glad you don't miss an episode. Either do I. I try to make sure I don't either. Okay, so
do one without one of it.
It doesn't happen. Dude, we've done shows when I was on hydrocodone because my back. We don't miss, even though they're terrible and they're
Mike
bad.
won't let Ricky and I do it by ourselves.
No, he will not let us do it by
He
himself.
won't.
He refuses.
Absolutely.
Too much of my dad in me.
We
Okay,
have
anyway.
tried. It will not work. Yes.
So, anyway, I love the idea, though, of visiting nearby resorts. Going to resorts for dining is a home run. I love this. So, first of all, with staying at Caribbean Beach, going over to Pop Century, I guess eating at everything Pop. Now, remember, right now, you can't go in and, have that full food court experience at Pop. You'll mobile order, and then you'll basically go pick a big bag with all your stuff in it. Then you can sit down in the food court and eat. That's fine. But it's not like the whole, cafeteria kind of experience.
Food bag or something at this point.
It is odd. It is an odd experience.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
But if you're going to Pop Century, I might encourage you to go to Art of Animation because I think it might be just a little bit better. Just different offering. Kind of the same thing. But here's the thing: we didn't mention this. Caribbean Beach. Go over to the Riviera.
The Riviera.
Primo Piatto. You will thank me. You will email me saying, Mike, I'm going to tell you what the place is at Wilderness Lodge that we like. And thanks for pointing me to Primo Piatto over here. Because you can just walk right over. Boom. Especially if you're staying like a Martinique. I mean, it's like, dude, you throw a rock and hit the Riviera.
Closer than your food court, probably.
Yes, exactly. So that's my suggestion. So Pam, give them a couple other suggestions. Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. They're fine to leave the park and go to a nearby resort or options in the park.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, like we've been talking sort of about quick service and you're going to be mobile ordering at most of those locations. But remember that all of these resorts or most of them have a dining option that is table service, but is not signature. Like the Polynesian has Kona, which is always a great choice. But then they also have Captain Cook's. Grand Floridian has 1900 Park Grand Floridian Cafe. And I'm picturing it in my head and saying the wrong word. This is how it's Monday. Like, oh my gosh.
So Monday.
I know.
But it's Wednesday. People focus. It's Wednesday in your world.
But anyways, so you have the Grand Floridian Cafe, but then you also have Gasparilla Grill. And I think those are both great choices. And then, of course, over at the Contemporary, you have the Wave and also the Contempo Cafe.
The Wave. Can I just talk about this for a second?
Go.
I had an amazing dinner at the Wave on this last trip. Like, it was so phenomenally good. I will be back 150%. Like, this has become like my new favorite, I think.
And it has been for a while too. It's like actually like the past few times that we've eaten there, it really has been good. I
got a vegetarian dish. And I loved it. I mean, I don't usually eat anything like that.
Change or what? Did you change your lifestyle? Are you now a vegetarian?
No, I just decided I got something that was pretty heavy as far as meat for my appetizer. And so I was like, I'll try. I got the gnocchi with it had like mushrooms and sweet potatoes. Oh my God, it was so good. Like, it was really phenomenal. And I was not expecting it. It was like in a brown butter sauce. I wish I could have this for dinner tonight. I'm not even lying. Like, I wish I could go to the Wave tonight and just be like, I will take that. Thank you. And just bring it home. It was that good. I mean, it was so good. I actually brought the leftovers home and had them for lunch.
You killed me that you do.
Well, I was so full while I was working the next day because I, was working from home. So I had them for lunch. Yeah.
You rode a plane.
No. I was working remote with my brothers. Not
Oh, right. I'm like, no,
on the plane.
food does not keep on the plane.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody smells like
Yeah, and I would be like, I don't want to sit next to her, first of all.
girl number 17 on the wing.
Plane. I promised I didn't bring it on the plane. I promised
Yeah, I forgot that she flew this time. Yeah, totally. You did.
Right? I'm like, no, not okay. No. Okay. So yeah, so those are your locations near the Magic Kingdom. Of course, near Epcot, you are within walking distance to the Yacht and Beach Club, which you're going to find Ale and Compass. There's an Ale and Compass Marketplace. Those are both fantastic choices. And if you haven't eaten at Ale and Compass, like the actual sit-down location, why haven't you? I've been talking about this for months and months and months. Go there. It's good. Very, very good. So try that. You'll have the same options, of course, from Hollywood Studios. You'll be able to use that Skyliner and dine over at Yacht and Beach Club or at the Boardwalk if you want. But right now at the Boardwalk, you're going to find limited options. You'll, of course, have the Boardwalk Bakery and some food stands.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
And then you'll be like,
Where's
where else would I go?
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
you're there, if you're going to World Showcase, like if you have the tickets, going to World Showcase and eat
For
there.
sure. For
Right
sure.
on.
For
Yeah,
sure.
good stuff.
So that's good stuff.
All right, real quick, last question, and I said that was last question, but Angie's asking, what do you do to get into the parks if you don't get a Magic Band? You'll get a kind of like the old Key to the World card.
Yep.
You get to use, and you're in. Okay, that is going to do it for today's show. If you have questions from other continents, we love those as well. Just send those to Mike at brguestpodcast.com. What's that?
You can be from this continent
You can
too.
be from North America. We don't mind. We're regular folk. If you want to, Missouri. Hey, we have people. Jennifer's down the street from me. So there you go. So send in your questions, Mike at brguestpodcast.com, or join us live on Facebook or YouTube on Mondays, usually around 5:45 Eastern. And those questions usually go kind of to the top of the heap because you're right there live and we're chatting with you and having a good time as well. Even before we start recording, we talked a little Love Boat today. So you might want to get in on the pre-show, the post-show.
You don't want to get
Might not. I mean, whatever. Come on over. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today because, like we said, great specials out there right now. You get some free tickets onto your package. You can also get some room discounts. And one of the misconceptions I think some folks might have, and I had this kind of same misconception years ago before I started doing this, is that if you have a package with tickets, you're still eligible for a room discount. Don't think that because you have a package, you can only get the air quotes package discount. No, if you're staying at, say, Grand Floridian and you still have a package, that doesn't disqualify you from a room discount, which is significant on a deluxe room. So that's kind of stuff we do for our guests every day. We just make sure that you're in the right spot. We save you the most amount of money, but more importantly, want to make sure that you have the best vacation when you get there so that you're talking about it for years and years and you want to go back. I mean, that's what it's all about. We love the place. I want to go back as much as I can. I want you to feel the same way. We'll take great care of you. So check them out today over at the Magic for Less Travel. Mention the show, and we'll be putting that stuff together for you right away. Also, don't forget we have an Amazon affiliate link. It's a free way to support the show. Just click on beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon when you do that online shopping. And finally, thanks to our patrons. You guys are awesome. You're carrying the show. I appreciate it so very much. If you'd like some extra content like Mike in the Midwest every Thursday, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And of course, subscribe to the show and all that good stuff over on YouTube and Facebook. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast and you'll catch us every time we go live. No live call-in show this Sunday because there's a football game going on or something. So we're taking this Sunday night off, but we'll be back in the next Sunday night. All right, we are going to be back again on Friday, and we're going to talk about the best tips, hot tips for traveling in the spring down at Walt Disney World. What do you got to think about when you go down in the spring? Quite a few things you might not have considered. So we'll talk about that coming up on Friday. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. All right. Save this. Episode 184. Let me change this real quick. Well, that's saving 46.
Alexa, stop heater.
No.
Alexa, turn heater off.
Alexa, keep heater on. Mm.
Let's see. True. Oh, damn, it didn't change. Oh, well, that's just like any other day. I tried to change the text at the bottom. Oh, wait, I did. It just says list your questions too. I don't care. Whatever. People know. Okay. We're good. We're good. Yep. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1846 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And of course, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel, where we every day love that we have the opportunity to plan amazing Disney adventures for our guests. And I just wanted to jump in here right at the top of the show and thank everybody who's gone over, checked out the site, filled out a quote request, and worked with one of our great agents. We love doing what we get to do. We want to make you, help you have the best Disney vacation ever. And it is a privilege. So thank you to everybody who has worked with me over the years and all the agents over at the Magic for Less. We love doing what we do, and it's kind of a cool gig. We appreciate it. And thanks for helping me live my dream. So we are going to, kind of do what travel agents do. We're going to give some great tips today for traveling down to Walt Disney World this spring, because we know a lot of folks have planned more last minute this year than any other year in the past, right? A lot of folks plan out a year, in advance. And some people are saying, you know what? I've been looking at these same four walls for the last 10 months and they're closing in on me. And it's it's kind of like that scene in Star Wars where they're down in the trash compactor and they're trying to I don't think it's going to stop the trash compactor, that little pole that they try to hold up real high. I think that's going to get mashed too, but it seems like it wouldn't. It's kind of one of those things you want to get out, right? You need C-3PO to say, stop the garbage mashers on the detention level. Get me to Walt Disney World. That's what we do. That's what I'm saying. And that's a long intro, but we're going to give spring tips today. Happy Friday, everybody. Joining us today from themouseforless.com. She is just into the Star Wars thing. She has no idea what I just talked about. And Ricky, I have a question for you. So you've seen episode 4, right? The episode I'm talking about?
I have seen all of them except for the last one, actually, the number 9. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so anyway, they're in this thing. They're down in the trash compactor. This is where I could really spoil your whole Star Wars. If you think about what happens here. Okay, so they're down in this masher. They're going to get squashed. C-3PO at the very last minute. Actually, it's R2-D2, but they're working in tandem there. They turn off the garbage mashers, right? They do not get squashed.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke Skywalker now is celebrating like he just won the Super Bowl. Could be Tom Brady, could be Patrick Mahomes this weekend. We don't know. But he's like, where are we? He's also happy. They're cheering, they're high-fiving. I'm thinking, dude, there's 180,000 stormtroopers on that Death Star. And they know where you are. Why don't they just go to the hole and point their blasters down and take them prisoner? They don't. They just crawl out of there. It's all good. Think about that. I know. See, you don't even know. You're stunned.
You just said a lot of things that I don't.
Anyway, what's going on with Disney? What are you doing for the Super Bowl? Okay, everybody think about that over your Super Bowl weekend. Why don't you just go get them? Okay,
yeah, that's a good question, Mike. I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry. I wish I did. So we're just gonna be hanging out here, watching the Super Bowl. We usually would go to Brian's coworkers to watch the Super Bowl every year, but COVID. So we can't do that. So I think I'm just gonna make some appetizers and stuff and just pig out. And I don't know. We bought a new TV this year, so I have a gigantic TV to watch the game on that I really care about this year. So it's fine.
2 words.
Look, anything's as long. I'm definitely a Chiefs fan this year because anybody but Tom Brady. So I'm good. Yeah.
We're getting. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really like the NFL, but I guess KC because they're from Missouri. But we're getting Wingstop. That's all I care about. God, Wingstop is so good. We only get it every once in a while because it's terrible for you.
It's not good.
It's
not
bad.
Good for you. Yeah.
So, we get that every once in a while. All right. Anyway, so let's get to Pam in here. Pam Forrester-Koner, the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, you're a Star Wars loving fan who grew up on the original 3 movies. I mean, did I not just screw up your whole childhood with that theory? As I was watching that last weekend, I'm like, why don't they just go get them?
The thing that is even worse about that is you would only need one stormtrooper, because do you remember when they shot their guns and it bounced off so they could just shoot one down there? Yeah, that's right. Wipe them all out. Yeah.
I mean, even a stormtrooper who can't hit anything, you don't even have to hit them, right?
You don't have to just
wall.
use your blaster like 3 or 4 times and you end up getting them all. So anyways, yeah, no, there's actually a lot of things. So we had watched the whole series of them not that long ago. And there's a lot of things like from the original ones, the ones that were, episode 4, 5, and 6 that you're kind of like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe that made more sense.
Yes. We're just going to go with that. Anyway, so
maybe when I was a kid, that was better or something. I don't know. But the fighting teddy bears again.
Dude, I just watched Return of the Jedi yesterday as we're recording. I love that. The Ewoks are the best. They just whack you in the knee and you're dead.
I know that partnership with George Lucas and Jim Henson, there's like those kind of things going. Yes, I know, right? So, and which do you like better, Puppet Yoda or CGI Yoda?
Oh, Puppet Yoda for sure. Puppet, because it's OG like me.
Oh, you're OG.
And I love that meme. Okay, and then we'll move on. But the meme where like having that parents use now that like have my kids at home, because of school's virtual now makes me understand why Yoda got real tired and then just died.
Because Luke asked too many questions.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that is a great meme. Anyway, Super Bowl Sunday, you guys doing anything? Just kind of getting some wings and hanging out? Or you guys don't really watch the NFL either? You're kind of like me.
Yeah, we don't. Sorry.
Commercials.
We'll celebrate something. Yes.
I know. Like I'm like, well, the other day I was going through, there was nothing because I'm not a big college basketball fan. I watch Mizzou, but like, I mean, I had 150 channels of nothing. Like I would have watched curling it didn't even matter. Like give me a sport other than basketball. And there was nothing on. I'll watch some basketball. I'm just basketballed out right now because I did watch, and like the Blues, like then the Blues game got canceled because of COVID. I'm like, oh, and I was all excited for that and whatever. So anyway, all right, let's talk tips for Walt Disney World travel this spring. Like I said at the top, like feels like 30 minutes. And this is, by the way, this shows that people ask, do you script your shows? I did a presentation I honestly, I did a presentation last week, thanks to one of our lizards, Jody. She asked me to speak to the 4-H club of Kansas. And so big Zoom meeting, hundreds of people in there talking about how, podcasting and how to use it to reach your audience and so forth. And one of the questions was, do you script your shows? I'm like, have you ever heard our show?
We outlined, we are now on subsection 5.
Right, exactly. Yes.
I opened this mic.
I'm flipping papers to try to find where we are.
Guess what? 7 minutes ago, I had no idea I was talking about Star Wars and that whole.
No.
Well, it happens. You open the mic and stuff comes out.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Exactly. That's
our show's
our show. Yes. Hashtag stuff comes out.
Okay, so anyway, let's talk spring trips to Walt Disney World. A lot of folks are planning kind of last minute. Maybe you don't usually go in the spring, you go in the summer, you go in the fall, but you got to get out there. Like I always say that spring is a great time to visit Walt Disney World in a normal year, because for the 75% of us in the United States and all of our Canadian friends and so forth, just like by right now, right? We're in the first week. They did a thing on the radio this week about like, if you survive February, you'll survive the whole year because February is such a terrible month. Like, it's just like, there's not a whole lot to look forward to. You got Valentine's Day, but like you got baseball hasn't started, football's over. There's just not a lot. And usually the weather is just brutal.
Horrible.
It's like you get snow, ice. It hurts to be outside, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, a lot of folks like to go in the spring just to see some green grass.
Yep.
Feel a little warmth on your skin.
Yes.
And Disney really entices you with that, with the Flower and Garden Festival, lots of bright, vivid colors, flowers, lots of interesting things to eat. So it's a good time to visit, but a lot of folks don't. And again, this year, some students are still virtual. So that's an opportunity for families to maybe, like Scott took Emily down and, she's still virtual school in Michigan. So it gives you an opportunity. But as we think about spring trips in particular, Pam, what kind of pops into your mind as a tip for somebody to think about to make the most of traveling in the spring?
So the first thing you're going to do probably after you've chosen your dates is that you're going to pick your resort, right? So I think when choosing a resort, especially during the spring break trip, you're going to want to choose a resort that has a good pool. Mm-hmm. That's going to become very important. And it should. You're there to not only go to the parks, but enjoy some rest and relaxation. So make sure that you're picking one that has a great pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's right. And so speaking of that, just real quick, just basic, trip planning tools 101 here. If you're staying at a value resort, they're going to have like a Pop Century, like an Art of Animation. They're going to have a feature pool, which over at Pop Century, it's the Hippy Dippy pool, which is actually going under construction here shortly. You also have the Big Blue pool over at the Art of Animation, but you also have little, smaller pools like the computer pool at Pop Century, or the bowling pin in the 50 section. And there's the Cars pool over at Art of Animation. There's the Little Mermaid pool. So you have, you got a lot of options, but you don't have slides at the values. That's kind of the delineation between a value and a moderate. The moderates are going to get a little bit, kind of nicer, more, not so much Disney theme, but like Coronado Springs is like a big pyramid with water cascading down. It also has a pool bar, which is a little bit closer than like Pedals over at Pop Century, a little bit more offerings, kind of few hot items. But you also get a slide like at Coronado Springs is a Jaguar slide. Over at Caribbean Beach, you got the Pirate slide. And they're fun. And of course, then you get into the Lux hotels. And I mean, some of them are like mini water parks, like the Riviera Beach and Yacht with Stormalong Bay. So of course, I think that's a great tip because parents and kids alike, right? I mean, you've been sitting inside and it's been 30 degrees for like 3 months. And all of a sudden you get an 82-degree day and it's sunny. I mean, you might not want to go to the parks. You might just want to stay in the pool because it's such a novelty at this point. It's a lot of fun. Sunscreen though. It's seriously. I mean, even if you don't think about it, sunscreen, because you'll burn fast. All right, Ricky, what else are you thinking about for the spring?
So another thing you really have to think about, and I mean, it goes a little bit more for these February dates, like maybe early March, but I mean, it still can kind of make its way into, the rest of the springtime months too. But you really want to look at the weather because, I mean, you're so used to probably being bundled up in 50 layers and, having jeans and everything like that. And so you get down to Florida and you're like, I am wearing shorts all the time or short sleeves or whatever. And really, like, the weather can fluctuate down there, even in, those times of the month. Now, again, as you get closer into April and the May time period, it definitely stays more on the warm side of things all the time. But right now I'm looking at the weather forecast for, the next 15 days or whatever. And it's only highs in the 70s. There's a couple of days where highs are in the 80s, but
you're saying that to people in Missouri, only highs in the 70s. You're killing me.
Let me specify. Highs in the 70s are great. Let me tell you, that's wonderful. That's perfect. I love highs in the 70s. That is my absolute perfect temperature right there. But what I'm saying is that once that sun comes down, though,
that's a big difference. Yes.
That's a big difference. So, then the lows start to get there. You got lows in the 50s and the 40s and stuff like that. And so it does get chilly at that point. So you want to make sure that you do bring some layers with you in these early spring months, these times, because you are going to need to put on, say, a sweatshirt maybe once the sun goes down. And, right now the sun is still going down pretty early. So it does get cold out there, like last week when I was there, I definitely was in the afternoon, I was comfortable in just, a long sleeve shirt or whatever. But like once the sun went down, I was like, where's my hoodie? Where's my sweatshirt? Like I made sure and took it with me just that way, just so that I had it, throughout the day. And I wrapped it around my waist and carried it with me. But like, I wanted to make sure I had it for when the sun goes down. So it does get a little chilly in the evenings, even though the afternoons are like perfect. So that was where I was going with that, Mike. No,
I 100% agree with you because you catch like a March day, yes, or like a late February day and it's super sunny. And like all of a sudden you're just like, whew, I'm hot. You just got on a t-shirt and shorts. But I'm no kidding. You're right though. But like as soon as it gets dark, you're like, woo, it just got cold like fast. I mean, like in one day.
It gets super cold, super fast once that sun goes down. So just kind of keep that in mind, bring extra layers, either put them in a book bag or wear them, like wrap them around your waist or whatever, but just make sure you have them for when that sun actually does go down, especially in the earlier parts of the spring. Like I said, in the later parts of spring, you can get away with it a little bit better, but early parts, you definitely want to have it.
Okay, so I'm going to throw in something you can do only in the spring. And this is something that you might want to think about. You're kind of outside the box thinking is if you are a baseball fan, Major League Baseball fan, You can't, from what I've been reading, a lot of these sites in Florida will have fans in the stands for baseball games during spring training. Now, not so much in Arizona, I heard, but in the Grapefruit League, which is in Florida, you may be able to catch a socially distant baseball game with limited capacity seating. So the closest stadium you can go to is the Detroit Tigers. I think they're in Dunedin. But I mean, there are a lot of baseball teams. Obviously, half of them have their spring training around the state of Florida. Now, like I'm a Cardinals fan, it's not real practical to go to Jupiter, which is down kind of that's down by like Fort Lauderdale, Miami. So that's about a 3-hour drive. But you could probably go within an hour, rent a car, watch some baseball, maybe, stay in your town, for a couple nights and watch maybe 2 days worth of baseball. Because I think a lot of us are just missing kind of that kind of thing. And then go to Walt Disney World and stay there for 3 or 4 nights and get your theme park fix. And it's kind of a nice combo of, you know what, I get to go to the theme parks and I get to see some sports, which may or may not be, still having fans back in your hometown. And, again, a lot of us are just, you're making choices, right? That's to me, like going and seeing live sports is a huge part of who I am. And so that is something that would really entice me to travel in the spring, that once baseball season starts, which I think is going to be like late April this year, because they're going to push back spring training a little. From what I've heard, they're still negotiating, but that's an opportunity that you would only get that time of the year. So if you want to combine a little baseball and think about golf, there's a lot of golf at Walt Disney World, not on property and all around the state. You could do a little, and that's a great socially distant sport. Combine it with like a golf trip, and great golf right there at Lake Buena Vista course, or I don't know if the Palm and the Magnolia are back open, but I think they are. And I think they actually have golf lessons right now at a discount, I read. Mm-hmm. So if you want to learn the game, maybe do that. All right, Pam, anything, because I like recreation too. So what are you thinking about too?
So another thing you want to think about when you're planning your spring break trip is know that you want to look at your flights early. Even though travel is still, of course, down, has been through sort of a rough year, the airlines are certainly going to take advantage of the fact that more people are going to want to be traveling. Now, can you still get good flights right now? Yes, absolutely you can. The prices have really been lower lately, so now is a great time to talk with, an airline or your travel agent or whatever you're going to do. But soon, those flights are going to start inching up a little bit. So make sure you go ahead and make those travel plans as soon as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So the times we're in, Southwest is running a commercial that I've seen a bajillion times on Pluto TV, and it shows a teacher distance teaching her kids, which is so not realistic, but about, what commercials are. And so she's showing like how to do like the old, science experiment with the volcano and the baking soda and the vinegar. So all these kids at their house have all made these volcanoes, and they're real elaborate. Like that's not going to happen. I mean, I thought that's great, real. Yeah. And so she's telling them, just put in a little, and you see like stuff blowing up, like hit the ceiling, and it's like, bing, want to get away. That's a great commercial. It's so not real, because there's no way that parents be like on you like so bad, like you owe me for my ceiling because my ceiling is red from the gutter, from the lava that you made my kid blow up all over the dining room. That person would want to get away because they'd be like being chased by their parents. But I'm just saying. Anyway, love that commercial. All right, Ricky, what else? Tips for spring?
Well, I mean, obviously the big thing about spring, I think we kind of talked about, was, Epcot. The Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is, the biggest thing that Disney does. And this year it is going to be a little bit different because it's the taste of the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. They've really been doing these tastes ever since they, reopened the park. And basically the reason why it's a taste is because they can't have every single kind of event that they really normally have. Now, really, I think one of the biggest things that the only really big thing that they're not really doing for the festival this year is the Garden Rocks concert series, which of course makes sense. You don't want to bring in, celebrities to perform and have people be socially distant in, the stands. So that's really like the biggest thing. I think that's the big change for the Flower and Garden Festival this year. I think everything else pretty much is going to be the same as far as the taste is concerned. So you're still going to get the gorgeous topiaries, which
there's going to be a lot of them, because I was reading your article on the Mouse for Less. Man, there are a ton of those topiaries that they've already announced.
So many topiaries. Seriously, the topiaries floor me, because I have biggest brown thumb you've ever seen in your entire life. And so the fact that somebody can not only grow a plant, but also grow a plant to look like Donald Duck just absolutely astounds me. So
I think they kind of trim them. I don't know if they grow them to look like Donald Duck, but I think they like edges like Edward Scissorhands and like
saying I couldn't even do that. So
that's why you have a brown thumb. That just proves it because you're trying to grow look like Donald Duck. Okay, anyway, go ahead. I'm not trying to call you out or anything. Go ahead.
It's fine. Trust me, it's completely 100% legit. So the other thing that's really cool is they have these global gardens, and this is what I think, besides the topiary, is what a lot of people think about, because you just want to see that color and the greenery and everything like that. And there's the thing that most people think about are those beautiful floating gardens that are in the ponds between the walkway between Future World and World Showcase, and then the festival blooms that kind of go under where the monorail goes. Like that's like legit what I think about when I think of the Flower and Garden Festival, because it's just so much color, and that's what everybody is looking for at this point of the year, of winter. They're like, I just want to see something that's colorful and not dead.
I'm sick of seeing gray and like white with soot on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean it's perfect for that. And again, there are a ton of these little gardens that Disney is going to have this year for the Flower and Garden Festival. Of course, the big thing about the Flower and Garden Festival is the outdoor kitchens. I mean, it's not a festival without some sort of food booth at Epcot at this point. And again, there's like more than 20 different kitchens that you can choose from. And the best thing about the Flower and Garden Festival kitchens is the fact that the flavors that they use, they are so fresh because they're using a lot of the plants and things like them, vegetables and fruits that they're growing right there, in the gardens that you're walking past, which is just kind of the coolest thing, that they actually do that. So again, the flavors are very fruity. A lot of things like that that they use for this. This year they're going to have entertainment, but like I said, it's not going to be the same. You're going to have Voices of Liberty and Mariachi Cobre. They're performing both at the American Gardens Theater. They're going to have the Jammin' Gardeners, not Scott.
Elizabeth. That's true. It'll be Elizabeth, Emily, and hashtag up on the stage.
Not them.
He's a percussionist, by the way, so he could.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to be, performing on the Mill Stage in Canada, and then in a World Showplace, which I really actually appreciate the fact that Epcot can use this space because, they don't have any events going on right now. So the World Showplace section of the park, I had never really been in there until this past year. And it's a really cool section of the park because they built it for all these meetings and stuff like that. And so it's a gigantic meeting space that they have. The biggest bathrooms you've ever seen, like the most bathrooms you've ever seen in your entire life. Speaking of bathroom shows.
Talking about that. I never went in the bathrooms there. Now I feel bad. I'm going to have to make sure I do that next time.
Seriously, like the women's bathroom is not, I think, as expansive as the men's bathroom, which kind of makes me go, because, you'd think it would be the other way around. But so it's a really great space though. They usually have a couple of different food booths in there, and then they have entertainment as well, and this time they're going to have a pianist who's going to perform. They're going to have the scavenger hunts that are going to return. So there's Spike's Pollination Exploration, and it's where you look for the little honeybee throughout World Showcase. And then at Easter, they actually are also, so in conjunction, they're going to have the Eggstravaganza scavenger hunt, where you look for these giant oversized eggs that have Disney characters on them. And both of those hunts are going to cost $7.99 each. So again, this is really what I think of when I think of Walt Disney World and spring, is going to the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. And kind of the best thing about it is this year, it's literally going to be the longest festival ever. I mean,
you can go on the 4th of July this year.
The joke had always been like, the park is just going to be festivals. This year, I honestly think that's what they are going to do, because you're right, Mike, this festival goes from March 3rd until July 5th. And I can guarantee you that the Food and Wine Festival is going to kick off again somewhere around that July 15th time period like it did last year. I can guarantee you it's coming. So yeah, it's just insane.
You need to join us on Sunday nights. We talked about this past Sunday night. So the show that came out yesterday, we had this whole conversation. It's going to be 72 hours of swapping out the names of the kitchens.
100%. That's exactly what's going to happen, because like that's all they're going to do at Epcot. There was the joke of the diet Epcot, in the summer. That's not happening this year. I can guarantee it. Like, it's just going to be full. And I think that's going to be how it works from the rest of time at this point. They're like, cool, festival, let's go.
I agree. I think that Diet Epcot went the way of Tab. I think it's phased out. Okay, so that's a generational thing, by the way. If you get it, you get it. Okay, so here's my tip. I'm gonna throw this one in. Okay, now everybody, I heard I'm gonna steal this from my wife, who's a virtual teacher. Because she teaches right behind me, right? So like when kids, I crack up because like when kids turn off the camera, she gets fired up. Like, turn your camera on so I can see what you're doing, and all this stuff. But here, so she was given like some lesson today, and she's like, I'm gonna tell you how to. I forget what they're doing, like prime factorization or something. Like she said, lean in. I'm gonna show you this trick. So everybody, right now, lean in. Ready? I'm gonna give you the ultimate tip. Lean in. Everybody leaning in. Now, if you're driving, 10 and 2, like we've always said, don't lean in. But if you're not, if you're on the treadmill, you can still lean in. Here's the deal. Go in May. May is a great time to travel to Walt Disney World, right? Because you're missing spring break and you're before summer vacations. Yes. And the weather in May is outstanding. It is wonderful. And so you're going to have all the stuff Ricky just talked about, the opportunity to do all those things. You got additional eats. You got at Epcot. You got additional entertainment. You've got really some of the most stable, beautiful weather of the year at Walt Disney World in May. You have discounts right now this year for May. I mean, if you can make it happen, I'm telling you, May is like a hidden gem that a lot of folks don't take advantage of because they look at spring break, they look at Easter, they look at summer. Oh man, I'm telling you, if you have the opportunity to go in May, go in May. It is wonderful. And also, kind of just a real quick aside, this past weekend, it was announced that the Pop Warner football and cheerleading championships are not going to happen at Walt Disney World this December. Mm-hmm. That is going to be a great week to travel to. I know this isn't spring. I'm just saying, if you're looking for a week to go, that beginning of December is a great time to travel. And now without those, without the Pop Warner, did I say Pop Century? The Pop Warner cheerleaders and football players, there's going to be a lot more availability at moderates and value resorts. So I'm just saying, those were a challenge that first week of December, usually. That opens up opportunities for travelers. So that's a good week to travel to. But back, I'm telling you, okay, you can lean back out.
I'm kind of mad at you. I'm kind of mad because you're totally just giving away my secret time of the year to go. Like, May is honestly my favorite time to go to Walt Disney World because you're right. Like, everybody thinks about, summer, or they think about spring break, but they don't think about May. And it's such a perfect time to go. So thanks a lot, Mike. Way to give away my secret.
I've rope dropped Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. Yes. And it is epic. It's awesome. You got May the 4th. We with you?
Correct. That is my favorite. That is my favorite time to go. That's not a joke. I like going to Hollywood Studios on May the 4th and going to Epcot on May the 5th for that exact reason. I do it every time I get the chance to. Yeah. And
#CheerDad. I think that the summit and the Worlds are going to be over by the first week of May this year because they start on April 29th. And I think Worlds is before that. So I think the cheerleaders will be out by like May 3rd.
Nice.
Don't quote me on that though, but because thank goodness Summit is happening for Platinum Athletics. What's her Shine? That's Mallory's team this year. They've qualified. So we get to go down in April. Woohoo. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Pam, one more tip. Give us something else for the spring.
So in addition to the weather concerns that Ricky brought up which is bringing your coat, I of course I said this at the top of the show, you're going to want to pick a pool based on the swimming pool, but make sure that you pack that bathing suit. Even though it's so freezing at home, I've literally seen, like, on more than one occasion, a woman in the gift shop being like, I forgot my bathing suit.
I forgot my trunks on a cruise one time. I had to buy them out of that little store right there in Deck 11. And I still wear those. They're little cool black shorts. That's
it. Like, I think it's just when it's so cold at home during February and March.
The fact that you need a swimsuit, or like
exactly
when I wear my dresses, I can't tell you the number of times that I have packed the dress, forgot to pack shorts to wear under the dress, and I have stopped at a CVS, been like, give me some sort of pajama shorts to put under these because I need something, anything. Yeah.
This is a TMI alert. TMI. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts under my dresses. So.
This is our second TMI alert of the show. We're going to continue on now.
We're going to need something besides the day for charcuterie. Like, seriously. Thank you. But anyways, yeah. So in addition to your swimsuit, you're going to want to bring all the accoutrements that you may need, SPF, a million, whatever you use, anything else that your kids need, goggles, all the swim stuff, because inevitably the time that you forget is the time that, of course, it'll be perfect swimming weather, and it will. All of Disney's pools are, of course, heated to the balmy, balmy temperature of about 84 degrees. So keep that in mind. Even if it's chilly outside, it's not cold in the water. You're feeling good there. So, and by the way, the hot tubs are open at the pool.
Yes.
So
moderates and deluxes.
Yes, moderate and deluxes. Yes, that's absolutely that. The other thing I wanted to mention, I know I'm sticking like 1.5 in, because of Flower and Garden Festival. I think that one of the places you're going to want to think about staying is someplace that's either within walking distance to Epcot, the International Gateway, and that will be Yacht and Beach Club and also the Boardwalk. Or think about staying at, of course, one of those resorts that has Skyliner access that can put you right there at the International Gateway entrance of Epcot. Those are places that I would want to stay if there were any kind of festival that's going on, which is pretty much 362 days out of the year.
Pretty much. At this point,
There's like Christmas Eve and I think New Year's Eve. There's not festivals going on. So.
Right. I will say, kind of piggybacking on that real quick, like for folks that are coming down from the north, like you want to maximize every second of the nice weather when you're down there in the spring. This was more of an issue like when Magical Express delivered your luggage to your hotel, but I would always pack like, because when I got on the plane in St. Louis, it was freezing, right? So I'd have like a hoodie and like, sweat, like athletic pants or something. Travel. Yeah, I fly casual. But when I got to Orlando International, I go in the bathroom and throw on shorts and a t-shirt and like just get it on right there from the airport. Like, I mean, I want to get on my full, like, I'm in Florida. I want to be, enjoying the weather. I don't want, I put on a t-shirt and shorts before I ever get on Magical Express. I just throw them like in my carry-on. So, I mean, not everybody's that crazy, but I am. So there you go. Just something to think about. All right, Ricky, close this out. One more tip and we're out of here.
We keep mentioning, but spring really is like the best time to visit Walt Disney World. If you avoid the 2 weeks around or month around spring break time, which of course this year it's a little bit harder to pinpoint because I don't, that's probably the biggest thing is this year you're probably not really going to have much of spring break in a weird way because like people can kind of travel a little bit more loosey-goosey this year. So you'll probably see a lot more crowds around that Easter time period. But again, thanks to the theme park reservation system and things like that, it should be still pretty easy to get into the parks. Now, that's kind of the biggest thing is around that time period. You still want to make sure if you haven't done it yet, make sure you do that, make that theme park reservation. That's going to be really key is making sure you have that just on the off chance that things get super busy during that time period. But, make sure you go in and make that theme park reservation. It's super easy to do. Make sure you bought your park ticket. You have to have your park tickets ahead of time. And then you can go in and you can select all the people in your party and you can make your reservation for that, because if you don't have that, I don't want anybody to be like stuck, like around that Easter spring break time period. And just in case, on the off chance of being like, oh, hey, I didn't, I can't get into the park. So just make sure that you make your theme park reservations, which is definitely something that's new for, this spring time period that we didn't have to deal with before. So,
and even kind of going along with that real quick, though, I mean, a resort day in the spring is a great time to take a resort day, pool day, just walking around another resort because you're not sweating, you're not like freezing, you just, just walking around looking at palm trees, like, if you're old Key West or something,
By the way, I will say the best park to go to in the spring is Animal Kingdom because it's not Animal Kingdom hot. It is gorgeous at Animal Kingdom that time of year. You don't have the humidity, you don't have the heat. You've got the animals that are out and about because it's springtime, and so they're like having fun and playing. Yes, so I wasn't gonna talk about that.
Remember, I have the mentality of a sixth grader sometimes.
So there's that. So I'm just saying, like, the secret right here, Animal Kingdom is really the place to go in the spring. Not a joke. That's the place you really want to go because.
All right, we're gonna end that on not a joke. She's serious.
Not a joke. I'm serious. Go to Animal Kingdom in the spring. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, we are going to get out of here and let you get on with your super weekend, but hopefully you enjoyed some of those tips. And even if you're not going this spring, man, it's good to think about it, right? It is just, if you're digging out from 18 inches of snow up east, email me. We're going to get you down to Walt Disney World. You deserve it. So don't forget, speaking of that, the Magic for Less Travel sponsor today's show, as always. We'll help you plan a great trip, whether it's spring. What's that song? Spring, summer, or fall. The Jim Croce song, I think it is. All you have to do is email. Exactly. That's it. And I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got an agent. Good. Off the top of my head. Anyway,
scripted, 100%. Yeah.
Not two Coke Zeros during the show. All right, don't forget, just check out the magicforless.com. Great trip planning tools, and just fill out the quote form. We'll take good care of you and get you down there. Get you some sun and fun. That's what we call it. Over at the magicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, for a way to support the show. And as always, thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. Mike in the Midwest every Thursday. You want to get in on that? Just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. Of course, Facebook and YouTube. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast. Subscribe over there. We'd really appreciate that. And no live show this Sunday night because of the Super Bowl, but we'll be back again next Sunday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, taking your calls, talking about all things Disney. So we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again together on Monday. We'll have a fun trip report for your feed. But until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. What's that say? 19 inches here in the Poconos. I was watching Classic Concentration today, and one of the prizes was a trip to the Poconos.
Oh,
So up in New York, I think.
It's actually Pennsylvania.
Oh, it is? It was up east somewhere.
Yep. The Poconos.
Very cool.
Pennsylvania.
That's
Right
awesome.
next to Kokomo, right?
Yes, right. Almost. I feel kind of bad, actually. I mean, just going to say about that. It's not the best location. I will say destination. I mean, in terms of that, there's some skiing and stuff like that too. So there are some better resorts, but there used to be a bunch of like sort of trashy ones that like still had the big like champagne glass shaped hot tub. And
see, I'm all about that. That makes me want to go. You know me, I want to go back and try.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking at Poconos.com right now.
I don't know that you'll still be able to get it, but they've made it more of a ski and recreation, destination now. So they thought better of it.
Like yes. I'm headed that way. I'm in the car. I'm heading east. Oh, Kalahari. Yeah, that's where Mallory stayed at Kalahari, though, in the Dells. That's where she had her cheerleading competition that they got their bid to summit.
Yes. Yes. So, Jennifer, you can tell us if the champagne glass hot tubs are still available for Mike.
Oh, that sounds so cool. All right. I'm out of here.
All right. See y'all.
Okay, bye, everybody. See ya. Daisy.